Hey everyone, I'm Pinsir, and honestly I did not expect this to be one of my first video topics. I knew I was going to get to this eventually because I absolutely love these games, but on the last Nintendo Direct, Mario Strikers Battle League was just announced. Now, I absolutely love the Mario Strikers games. They were amazing games that me and my friends played probably too much of, and I am just ecstatic that another one's coming. I was really sad that we didn't get one on the Wii U, and I was hoping we'd get one on the Switch, but you know, so far into the Switch's lifespan, I wasn't really expecting it, so it came out of nowhere, and I've been thinking about what a new Strikers could look like forever, and this is not what I expected, but I am hyped, and well, I want to go through my top 10 characters for Mario Strikers Battle League. Now, I am not going to discuss any characters that have been in the game before, so no Petey Piranha or anything like that on this list. I will just give a small shout out to the Bowser Super Team from the first game, because I would love one of those robots to just come back as a playable character as a nod to that, but beyond that, let's just get into the list with number 10, Wart. I mean, it's time Wart came back to the Mario series. I mean, I know that technically Doki Doki Panic was its own game, and it only became Mario because it got localized and became Mario Bros. 2 because the real Mario Bros. 2 was too hard. But here's the thing, Birdo, Shy Guy, Sniff It, so many of those characters have just become part of Mario lore now. Where did Wart go? I think it would be great because he'd be another bigger character like Bowser. He'd be a very similar character to Bowser, but instead of the fire, he's got the bubbles, or he could throw the turnips. I mean, I know the turnips technically killed him, but it'd be a fun nod. But no, he would be amazing to see return, and I think the sports games are the best place for it. Yeah, I'd be down for them to make a new game where he was the big bad, but spin-offs I think are the place we could get a lot of returning faces. Speaking of characters I really think need to return to the Mario franchise, number 9, Tatonga. Now, he was obviously the boss from Super Mario Land. On the Game Boy, he came back in Super Mario Land 2. He was the alien that kidnapped Princess Daisy. Now, personally, I think that he should have never left the Mario franchise, like he should never have disappeared. It's a whole other video topic that I will get to as to why I think he should be around, but point is, Wario introduced in Super Mario Land 2, Daisy introduced in Super Mario Land 1, Tatonga in both games, and yet, of those three characters I just mentioned, he's the only one to not be in any of the sports games, and I mean, if you look at some of the designs he's had in different forms of media for Mario over the years, imagine him decked out for Strikers. He would be really intense and really cool. Number 8. It's the one from the thumbnail, so, I mean, didn't exactly keep him hidden, but it's definitely my weirdest pick. Fishing Boo. I couldn't tell you why I want this character, but I do. I've been thinking about Strikers for years now, and honestly, this is the character that just popped in my head one day. I've never been able to get him out. He'd be higher on the list if he wasn't just such a weird oddball pick, and I have no idea how the mechanics would exactly work. I've thought about how, you know, he could either be on the ground like everyone else or floating. Regardless, the soccer ball would just be at the end of the fishing pole rather than being kicked. It'd be really funny to see. Obviously, you could do the same thing with Lakitu, but for some reason, I would just love Fishing Boo to be that character, and I know that the other two I've mentioned are probably never going to happen, but this character is the one on the list that is never going to happen, and if somehow it does, then I had some vision all those years ago, and honestly, this is going to be my main. If by some miracle it happens. I know he's only at number 8, but he's the character that, if it happens, regardless if my number 1 makes it, this is the character I play. Number 7, coming out of that oddball pick is another oddball pick, but not as weird. It's definitely more Mario mainstay. This is Wiggler. Now, I did consider Flutter because personally I've always enjoyed that form more and kind of wish that he was used more often in like Mario Kart or Party or whatever sports games. But this is Strikers, so they're running around, they're playing, well, not soccer. It was confirmed in the reveal for Battle League that it is now a soccer-like sport called Strike, but still, it helps to be grounded. I know I'm digging a hole for my last pick regardless. And Wiggler is running around with usually about 6 legs, and it'd just be great to see him being able to just get that extra speed, that extra run. He'd be a bigger character, but he'd be fast. I don't know, it would just be a fascinating thing to be able to see that, how it would play out. I think he would just work great for a game like this, and I don't know, well, just imagining some of the gear on him is really fun. Number 6 is Nabbit. Now, Nabbit's one of those characters that, honestly, he felt like he was supposed to be Nintendo's next big thing, right? Like, he was in the games for a bit there, but he was always just sort of side stuff. I mean, if he had just been what he was in the first game, I wouldn't have thought too much about it, but then he became playable for Super Luigi U and then Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and like, it felt like he was being prepared for more and just to be sort of that character, but then he hasn't really been that present, so I don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes with him. It felt like he was supposed to be more than he turned out to be. Regardless, I'd love to see him reach that status, and I think he just needs to be more side games. Put him in Mario Strikers, put him in Mario Kart, Mario Party. Mario has all sorts of side games. If you want your character to be part of the Mario cast, that's where they need to be. And just as a complete tangent, if Nabbit is not in the next Mario & Rabbids game, they're missing an opportunity, honestly. I know that crossover is kind of a weird one, but like, Nabbit just would work, right? Into the top 5, and well, if the rest of this list wasn't already a giveaway that I kind of love weird characters, we're going to be getting into a few more pretty quick here, starting off with Plessie. I love Plessie in 3D World. I thought she was an amazing addition. It's just big aquatic Yoshi, you know, what's not to love? And then Bowser's Fury really just made her feel way better because you're able to just go around 3D environment. It was amazing. Plessie is one of those characters that I want to see just take off into the Mario universe and just be in pretty much every Mario game from here on out if possible, or at least represented somehow. Now, obviously for a game like Strikers she'd have to be scaled down, but some of the characters are decent size. Like if Plessie was about the same size as Bowser, I'd be happy. And it would just be amazing to see her in the game properly as her own character, and I don't know, there's not a whole lot more I can say on it other than I just really love Plessie and I want to see her used way more, and this would be a great opportunity to start that. From one 3D World pick to another. Now, this is definitely the weirder of my two 3D World introduced characters, the Motley Boss Blob. I love this boss fight. It was super fun, but my issue is he deserves more. That design is just too fun. This little clown Koopa thing that surrounds itself in this liquid metal to become this giant beastly, like, mercury clown monster. I don't even know how to explain him properly, but I love that about him. And it could be the giant metal form, obviously scaled down again, Bowser size, Donkey Kong size, you know, like, or it could just be the little form and he uses the metal, comes in to do his hyper strike in the huge form. I don't care how they do it. I just know that the character was too cool to just be a one-off boss fight in a game that didn't really have that much to it. I love 3D World, but let's be honest, if that's the only game they're relegated to, they're gonna just sort of be swept under the rug, and I want more for this character, and Strikers feels like a great opportunity for that. I'd love to see more of him. Number 3 is definitely getting back to much more mainline characters that people would potentially want, but that is fans of a particular part of the Mario franchise. My number 3 pick is Fawful from the Mario & Luigi series. I loved the Mario & Luigi series. I could probably make a top 10 list of characters I want for Mario Strikers from the Mario & Luigi series specifically, but I know that those games are going to be their own little side thing because they're not big enough yet to include more than like maybe 2 faces. Obviously, if we got Fawful, he could bring someone like Midbus with him, but like we're not going to get Prince Peasley, Cackletta, and Tasma, Princess Shroob, so I'm just limiting myself for this. But that being said, Fawful is the face of that series. I think any fan of that series knows it, and I mean, because he was the side villain in the first game, he was a shopkeeper in the second, and then he became the big bad. And he's just amazing, he's hilarious, and I want, if anyone could make it, he could. I want him. And honestly, I think if Nintendo did pull him from the Mario & Luigi RPGs to put him in the main Mario cast for a game like Strikers or Mario Party or any of those, then we would get even more outcry to see him join Smash Brothers, and maybe, just maybe, people would shut up a little bit more about Waluigi, because let's be honest, if we want a wacky Mario character, Fawful has Waluigi beat, which I know is a big claim, but play those games if you haven't, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Number 2 is the character I most expect. If she's not in the game, I'll be shocked, and she's the most likely character on this list. That's Pauline. Now, honestly, Pauline's a great character, and ever since Odyssey, her popularity has skyrocketed, and that doesn't surprise me for a second because she was great in that game. But ever since then, she's appeared in both tennis and golf. She's not shown up in Mario Party yet, though, which is weird to me. Regardless, she's kind of becoming one of those faces like Rosalina did, where she's just going to be showing up a lot, and I am all here for it. I finally have a character that is on rosters of games that makes me question, do I pick Pauline or Peach? Because Peach has been my go-to for pretty much every Mario game, but Pauline actually has me a little bit torn on that, so again, I really will be shocked if she's not in it. Before we get to number 1, I have a few honorable mentions I want to say. First, Bully. It's just funny to think about. He would actually be a pretty decent fit as just far as how he moves and works, and if he had a knockback mechanic, that'd be fun. Pokey. Just picture a stack of balls playing soccer. It's fun, and it's ridiculous, but that's that. Kamek just should be a mainstay of the Mario franchise, and I'm shocked how little he's used. And then the big honorable mention here, they almost made the list, but there's just other characters I think are more plausible. I know Fishing Boo, not plausible at all, but he's still, yeah. Gino and Mallow. I would love to see them both return. I know everyone talks about Gino, but I want both. I love Mallow's design, and if Square could ever just let Nintendo have those characters just for the Mario franchise, just to get them in games like Mario Strikers, I would love to see it. And maybe with the fact that the creator of Mario RPG wants to make a sequel as his last game, that's possible in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. Regardless, those are the honorable mention characters that I just had to slip in here, and on to our last pick. My number 1 is a character that I probably would not even play as much as Pauline or other characters on this list, but I want in the game more than them. And they have an okay chance because they were just in Mario Golf. That is Big Bob-omb, or King Bob-omb, depending on which game. He's had a few different names given to him, but I love his design. I think he's one of those characters that from the moment he was introduced in Mario 64, he should just be that mainstay character. He should always be a boss or appearing somewhere in these games, but he really just hasn't been. But I really would just adore seeing him in this game. He is definitely my number one pick, even if I probably wouldn't play him as much. I know that's a weird thing to admit, but I do hope for that. Honestly, I'm just excited to be getting another Mario Strikers. It's hard to believe it's been 15 years since Charged, and I don't know. This has been a wild announcement. Again, I knew I was going to talk about these games at some point, but not this soon. It's coming out right around my birthday, so things couldn't work out better for me. And I'll be happy with the game no matter what. It does look like we could get a fairly small roster, which would be a little disappointing, but the last several sports games have been getting continued support, getting new characters updated all the time. And even if it was paid DLC, I would definitely buy it. I know not everyone would buy Plessy or Motley Boss Plub or Fishing Boo, but I mean, any of those characters I would immediately jump at. And I mean, anything Strikers is exciting to me. Let me know your feelings in the comments. I really would love to get into some discussions. Let me know your oddball picks. What is that one Mario enemy that's stuck with you forever and you'd love to see get the spotlight? Because they have been giving some weird picks in the latest few games. I mean, Chain Chomp was in tennis. But regardless, let me know what your thoughts are, your top 10, your just weirdest pick that you would love to see, or just your opinions on some of these characters. Obviously, everyone has their opinions. Please be civil. I shouldn't have to say it, but it is YouTube. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me.